Welcome back to the Ali Bond Show. Uncensored, Unfiltered, and coming in hot, and tickled pink with Rochelle Moffitt. Welcome, Rochelle, to the Ali Bond Show.
I'm going to say cheers, Ali. Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Freaking love this.
So do I. This is what you call sipping and sharing.
That's exactly what we're going to do today.
We are indeed. So I guess I came across you on LinkedIn, seeing the powerful work that you do, building a community of women, supporting women. And I guess you're the queen of connection, you're the queen of comms, and you're the queen of a cheerleader in every sense of the word in terms of clapping for other women. And
thank you.
Yeah, so really keen to have a conversation about the obviously the business, but before the business, a bit about life for you, starting out as a child. You've been through being in a situation where you've had a split family.
Yep.
And let's start at the beginning.
Okay, so I am very blessed to have a very loving family, even though we weren't all together at different stages. So my main parent was my mum, and then I'd see my dad every second weekend. Then my stepdad came along, and my mum and my stepdad had my little sister, Kimberly, who is just an absolute sweetheart. I think I love her now more than when I did when I was little, but you know, that sisterly love. Mum is a ballerina, and she danced for the Royal New Zealand Ballet. And
wow.
Yeah, she's like, she's just beautiful. I mean, you've met her, you know it. She's just gorgeous.
She has got this, your mum has this aura around her that is just so loving. Her pride in you is just phenomenal. But meeting her at the first event I went to, I just thought that she was just this most amazing woman with just infectious energy, really.
She's just divine. She's a hard worker. She'd been through 2 divorces herself, so I was part of the first divorce. So I could probably say I've been through 4 divorces, 2 of my own, 2 of hers. Anyway, her relationship with my stepdad didn't work out, so it ended up just being Kimberly, myself, and mum. So we had just a wonderful little threesome. That's the wrong thing to say.
You can say anything on the Ali Bond Show.
We had a wonderful family. It was just 3 of us. We looked after each other, and my nana was extremely involved in helping my mum, because being a ballet teacher, she was at teaching when we were at home, or if we weren't, we were at the dance school as well. So I think what really resonates with me throughout my life is change happens, shit happens, so you really just have to kind of look for the best in everything, which I know sounds so fucking cliche, but you have a choice. You can go the positive route and just get on with shit, or you can dwell on what was. So with mum being a ballerina, growing up in a dance school, being there, helping her, supporting her grow that dance school as well. The quote that just sums up my whole entire life for me is opportunity dances with those already on the dance floor.
And I love that. I absolutely love that. And I think that was a post on your LinkedIn. And I said, my shoes are ready for this dance party to get jolly going.
And I think I replied something along the lines of, let's get dancing.
Absolutely. You sure do. You sure do. And look, it's just such a commonality, I think, with women, with powerful women, with women that rise from some trauma or difficulty, that there's a softening of them, a level of empathy that grows, but there's also a sense of drive and purpose that accompanies that.
I think also when you realise after my second separation, I was all on my own financially, again, now for the second time. And it was scary as hell. Being 38, 3 children, I financially support the older 2 pretty much by myself. It's petrifying. And I went from, I was not working at that time. I'd taken a bit of a career break to look after the kids. They were older. We were financially able to do that. And then to not have any income, to separated with my second ex-husband and to work out that I really quickly needed to get I wasn't able to keep a mortgage. I couldn't keep my credit card. Like all of these things that you think you can just have because you've had them for 20-something years, you're fucked. So I'm on a bit of a mission to ensure that I can help women believe in themselves, back themselves, be damn bold about it, brand themselves. So personal branding's my jam, and then to be bankable. So ensuring everything you do is not just about a cash asset, it's really helping your life to, have a bankable one.
And I love that. When ladies, we're talking about bankable, not bonkable.
Maybe both.
Absolutely. And, I like yourself, I've been through divorce. I've been through divorce not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Oh, shit, hun.
And,
congratulations.
You're
beating me.
And so, it's not easy. And for me, there's been really authentically, there's been a level of shame that I've carried with having 3 failed marriages, because nobody judges anybody that has 5 relationships. But when that word marriage drops in, it's a bit of stigma, and I've had to work really hard to push past that and actually just own my life is what it is.
Yeah.
I can't change it. I'm really fucking lucky that I'm not with the last 2 fuckwits.
Yeah.
But
that's why I'm saying congratulations.
So the first one was a great husband. Talked about that before on another podcast.
Yeah.
But I do know when you referenced financial hardship, and when I liquidated my company in 2019, it was 21 years old, and I lost everything and went bankrupt. Yeah. And starting again, the fear of that was profound.
Huge, yeah.
The shame again descended like no tomorrow, and then the rebuild starts, and that's where the magic starts to happen.
And I wrote an article actually, and it was called "Ditch the Shame Game."
Oh, I like that.
We just have to. It's literally everyone listening to this, please ditch the shame game. Like you just said, it is your life. So why should I be embarrassed about my life? I don't go and judge other people for their lives, but maybe that's where it comes in, the empathy of having to walk in someone else's shoes. You don't know what people are walking in or what they're carrying. So the very least you can do is be like, cool. I'm like, I've got first ex-husband, second ex-husband. I just am owning it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you start owning it, no one can come at you. It's so freaking powerful.
And freeing.
Yeah, very, very much freeing. And just staying in your lane. I have another saying called mind your own monkey. And this came to me in my first marriage. And my sister had told me something around that saying about the circus, what circus you're in. And I was like, actually, I'm in a freaking circus and I need to mind my own monkey.
I love that.
It's so cool. It's very much like, I suppose, the Mel Robbins let them theory, but slightly different, but same kind of vein.
Which I also love.
Oh, so good. Yeah. So with Mind Your Own Monkey, the whole idea is something happens. I'm like, actually, is this my monkey? Is this my immediate monkey? Half the time, the answer is no on both of those. And you just get on doing your own shit. I'm just not interested in other people's drama, other people's crap. I'm just sorting out my own bullshit and living my life. So,
high five to that, and it's liberating. I think when you arrive at that place where you're not just going to get caught up in the drama and you one lane it, the shift is profound.
It's so profound. I'm incredibly lucky going back to my family. So my mum, my dad is super supportive. My second stepdad is incredibly supportive as well. So I have very lucky to have what we call our fruit salad family. I have a gorgeous partner who is my soulmate, and I have my 3 kids. He has his 3 kids, so together we have 6 kids.
Wow.
We have our own fruit salad family. But to have such supportive people makes it just that little bit easier, I think, to own your lane. No one's picking at you. They're just there to support you and help you. So, yeah, I feel very, very blessed that I get to have that.
So how old's the oldest child and how old's the youngest?
18 and 10.
Okay, very, very, very similar to me actually.
Yeah.
So my eldest turns 20 in about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and my youngest is 9.
And yeah.
Yeah, and the blend in itself is a conversation, because blending families isn't easy. It takes a lot of work from all parties for it to be successful. And I decided for me about a year ago that I didn't want to date a guy that had kids. And so my
Smalling,
yeah,
making the pool smaller, isn't it?
I actually
Yeah.
did. I actually did. I thought, no, I actually don't want to bring any more. I've got these 4 children of my own,
Yeah.
and they are enough. And lo and behold, in walks a chap at 60 that had no kids.
So you put it out to the universe.
And so he arrived, and he's terrific with my kids. And I look at the blend, and I look at the families that do it really well. Generally, it's the woman that are the glue for making sure it all works.
I think I'm very lucky that I have, I had parents to role model off that did actually get on really well, or made the effort to get on well. Sometimes they didn't necessarily agree, but they always stood strong as parents. So we've tried to do that. I respect the ex-partners as well, so that's a big thing. So it's just all knowing that you're there for the best of everybody. Again, fruit salad family. So yeah, we're really lucky we all respect each other like that, and ensure that it's best for the kids, and help each other out where we can.
So I saw that on your LinkedIn recently, because Tickled Pink has just gone like that.
Yes.
So let's have a conversation about Tickled Pink. What was the driver to create the business for you?
Okay, so I cashed out of the relationship with second ex-husband, had some money a bit of money in the bank, went through that really quite quickly, and then was like, shit, I have to go and get a job. I put myself up for quite a few roles. I heard back from one. I got offered one job, and I worked out that job would not pay for my expenses. I was going backwards. Also, with having all the kids and being main caregiver to my older two, I need flexibility. So the reality was I needed to create my own job. I was very lucky. I was working in Anna Mowbray's office at the time, because I think she could see I was in a little bit of a funk, and she'd just launched Zeal, and the energy around there and the impact that they were making, and it was just electric. So I was like, shit, I need to be able to create something that's just as electric. I went home one day, it was a couple of days into that, and sat down and thought, what am I going to do with my life? What do I want to be doing for the next however many years? I wrote down my values. I wrote all the things I'm good at, which was actually being a cheerleader, supporting other people, connecting people. I love social media. I love influencer marketing. I just love all of those things. So I went back to the Zeal office the next day, told Anna I was going to launch a personal branding company for women in business. We had a bit of a round table as to how on earth, or why on earth I would just do women in business. And I was like, because I think that's just my jam. And the company's going to be called Tickled Pink, and this is what we're going to do. She actually came up with the idea of having events, and she offered to be my first guest. So we sold 85 tickets to an event where I did a fireside chat with her, and it just grew from there. So I do have male clients as well, and by all means I'm not anti-male. I am pro people and epic people, and not dickheads, like 100%. Fuck off if you're a dickhead. But I really love what we're doing, and we get to help women own their power. No, actually, women are in power. I hate the word empowering. So women already are in power. We just give them the little nudge that they might need, depending on what they need, whether it's a helping hand, whether it's that little push. And we're just, as you say, the biggest cheerleader, and support them in achieving their goals, because I know when they achieve their goals, it's a massive freaking ripple effect for everybody, for families, for friendships, for communities, for nations. Like, yeah, it's really wonderful seeing the feminine side being out there more, because it makes a big difference.
And celebrated. I was so taken at the last event when the floor opened up, and I mean, I literally had tears. With women, come forward if you've got a problem you need some help with.
Yeah.
And the level of people stepping forward with solutions, it's just electrifying.
It was so cool. So if you're listening, what we do at our events is we open the floor for 3 questions, and we encourage the women who are extremely brave to say what they might need. One of my favourites was Sarah stood up and she said, actually, I've got this real issue. My mum, unfortunately, has been put into a rest home in New Zealand. She lives in the UK. We can't get her money out of the UK because the power of attorney is not... not taken over there. And a lady just near her stood up and was like, I can help you sort that. At the next sip and share, I told this event, and Sarah stood up and she was like, and I got the money. Literally. Like, she was not able to solve this problem for weeks and weeks and weeks. So, creating a space where people can feel safe to ask anything, and then a space where people give. Oh, like, job done. Drop mic. See ya.
Yeah, brilliant. I know Sarah. I did a day, a mastermind day with her and Jen and Jen Blandos. Do you know Jen?
I don't know Jen.
Oh, kick-ass woman, amazing. And so I saw Sarah at the event, and I heard that story, and again the power of the sisterhood, and the no competition.
No,
we are clapping for each other, and that is my vibe.
100%. There is just so much room for everybody to achieve their dreams on their journey. Yeah,
absolutely. And you see that when you see so many female entrepreneurs, solopreneurs attend events like what you're creating, and nobody's looking at each other thinking of them as being competition. It's what can we all do together to help us get to where we need to go independently, and tapping into each other's toolkits, if you like, to help each other.
It seriously is, and I see this a lot. I love LinkedIn. It's just my jam. I'm happy there. I really love it. So I love sharing insights there, but I also love seeing everyone else that is sharing their tips and tricks. It's not a look at me platform, it's a look at that. Here's an idea that we are sharing with each other. Here's a community that we're creating together. So I just think it's super cool where there is a wave of everybody just helping each other. If you've got a bit of extra time, help. It can be help with a little like, it can be help with a phone call, it can be help with opportunities. It's cool.
So you start Tickle Pink,
yes, on
a wing and a prayer, and a boost from Anna,
yes,
which must have been phenomenal to get you going.
Phenomenal.
And then starting any business is not without its peaks and troughs and moments of holy fuck, what have I done?
Yeah.
And so talk me through the journey thus far.
So we started in August of. What's last 23? So it's only a little kind of baby business. We haven't been going a huge amount of time, but the impact that we've made in that time is just so cool. I got a couple of clients on board, with a couple, and I have been doing everything. I then had a client say to me, which this was the game changer. This was last year. Rochelle, have you created yourself a job or a business? And I was like, oh, cool. From that second onwards, I changed my whole mindset, and I have been creating a business and a scalable business. And I decided that I didn't want to play it small anymore, because why the hell should I? And so we're going large. And I'm doing it my way. And I have got a team that we are building out, and we're doing it our way, and it's pretty damn special. And the clients that we work with are phenomenal, Everyone appreciates each other. Everyone loves doing stuff. So whilst it is a job, the work is just so excellent. Yeah.
I love that. I love that because I saw that that post about that comment about are you creating a job or
Yeah.
are you building a business? And that aha drop
Yeah,
was the
it
kick
was.
that you probably needed to really kick it up a gear and get going to a new level.
It seriously was. And isn't it funny how just tiny little moments like that come obviously at the right time, and I was ready to take that on. But how can I make the impact that I want? I just want people to believe in themselves. So at my funeral, if a whole lot of people turn up and like, actually, Rochelle made me believe in myself and I've achieved this, freaking party on. Like, yeah, I will be just so happy that a little bit of my energy lives in a whole lot of people.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And so how are you finding the juggle of motherhood and running a business? 6 kids is a lot to balance for any family.
I'm very lucky that with my third partner, total love of my life, he is my partner. So at the moment, he's doing a bit more of the heavy lifting while I am building my business, and he is just there to support me. So I've been so lucky with that. My mum and my sister are also super supportive. The kids know that I'm doing this because I need to. I need to be able to provide for them. But I'm very lucky. We have a beach home, and so we've just spent the last few months down at Pauanui in our beach house. And so the kids are able to go down there and be free range. So I sit there in my little makeshift office/bedroom, and I've been working away, but I can still go and have swims with them. I can still go out on the boat. I can still go and do stuff. It's just not as hands-on. With the littlest being 10, it's not. I'm not in those. I'm not in the trenches where they need me every single minute of the day. They're completely capable.
It's so liberating. I think
it's so good.
Once they get to, I've enjoyed motherhood. The older my kids have actually become, and so the nappy days for me were a bit of a challenge because I was a working mum.
Yeah.
And so with my first son, I was back in the office within a few weeks. I missed being in the boardroom, and I missed being in the action hub of life, if you like. But now that they're older, the conversations shift. And I'm finding that being a mother is becoming more and more enjoyable the older they get.
Yeah.
And at 10, they're quite self-sufficient by then anyway.
Totally self-sufficient. Harrison's just super easy kid. Sorts himself out.
And so
I'm off. Okay, mate. See you later.
So your sister's Kimberley Crossman. So spill the tea on what it was like having a sister that was quite well known, I guess, around Auckland. That's for sure.
Yeah. So my sister and I went to school. I left school end of sixth form, which is the end of year 12. My little sister went on to be deputy head girl and get a role on Shortland Street. So actually, her school let her leave and work full-time on Shortland Street.
Oh, wow.
And then she still did all her deputy head girl duties, all her schoolwork. Like, she is a super achiever. So whereas I got like best all-rounder at intermediate, which I was a little bit unsure if it meant I was a little bit shit at everything, like, and okay at everything.
You said that yesterday. Fuck, I laughed.
Crack out. So she is super achiever. She's on point. She's fabulous. She's just like so cool. It was a little bit of a shift when you'd go out and you'd be at a concert or walking down the road, and people would come up to us and ask me to take a photo. And so it's like, well, that's cool. We're having our own moment. This is what I'm thinking in my head. I'd love to take your fucking photo. But we decided as a family that was their experience, or people's experience with Kimberley. And that we would honour that for them and make it a really beautiful experience. So it was a lot of smiling, a lot of photo taking.
Do you know what I'd do?
What?
I would
take
just
a photo of myself
and pass the phone back.
I did that a couple of times, and I was like, it's just ruining their, like, they're so excited. They were so excited to see Kimmy. So it was probably a really actual interesting and pivotal part of now the personal branding. when she landed a role on Shortland Street, she was known as Sophie Mackay.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in Shortland Street is known out and about for their name, for their stage name or the character's name. So I said to her, we've got to change it up. You need to be known for your name, and you own you, and just Sophie is one of the characters that you play. So we did a whole personal branding piece. Websites were just going live. We were still using Blackberries. This is before the Apple iPhone came up. It was MySpace then. Facebook was just happening. You could upload all these blooming photos one by one by one. So we just jumped onto that. We were doing brand deals for her as her, not as Sophie Mackay. I was working with her talent agents, or her actor agents, and we had clear lines on what deals were going where and who would be over what. So Kimberly's success and her owning her brand and me helping her with that probably has ended up why I've ended up back where I've ended up.
That's amazing. Yeah. It's really amazing, because I think I found you with, you put a post up and you were leasing office space.
Yes.
In St Heliers, I think it was.
Yeah.
And the vibe was so high. I thought at the time I was actually under my own banner of Ali Bond Global, doing some coaching with fashion designers in that arena. Yeah. And I thought, I could really be around other people that are of that same level, rather than sat at home doing things and being in people's businesses. And so that's what led me to you. And I really believe in the divinity of timing and how that transports you through into journeys like these. Because, I'm an absolute Tickle Pink fan and Sip and Share fan, that community locally is just going to grow and grow. What are the numbers for tomorrow? Are they?
We've sold out at 100.
Okay.
Which is excellent. We've sold out our International Women's Day event at 100.
And I'm so happy you can sneak me a ticket into that.
I'm sure. If not, you can just sit on, mate, sit with me.
Yeah, perfect.
Done. You're in. What the coolest thing is that Eventbrite tickets, when you go and have a look, it says selling quickly or selling fast, and then it said sold out. So many repeat offenders, so many repeat customers, right? So we are creating this beautiful community, and I don't see it as my community, I see it as our community, and I'm not a gatekeeper on that. It's just really cool woman. And if you come to I even hate the word networking, but it is a networking event. If you come to our event, you can also go to lots of other freaking events out there. It's not you can't do this. It's like, find all your people and go to all of the places that work for you, or don't go to the places that don't work for you. And we should all just help each other out. So again, it's not a competition. It's just a collaboration, a really beautiful space to connect with people and have cool conversations. So little things that we do is, like, on our name tags, we don't have a space for your title or company, because we don't give a shit. We actually have 4 little hashtags that you can write, 4 topics that you'd quite happily talk about. So when you go up and see someone and you say, hi, hi, I'm Rochelle, or I could say, oh, hi. Oh, you're happy to talk about sexting? Shit, that's cool. Isn't that a much better conversation than to be like, oh, you're the CEO of I don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. Yeah. I have to come up with a new little hashtag for tomorrow.
Yes. Okay.
A fun one.
Yeah.
Would be
6969.
Yeah, well, that's gonna provoke some comms, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And so you've lived a life not too dissimilar to mine, really, and that and not too dissimilar to most women that go through life and have a few hurdles which you have to overcome. And so if you looked at your 42 years of life, what would you say the hardest thing that you've had to actually overcome?
The death of my uncle when I was 13. He would pick Kimmy and I up from school. Unfortunately, he wasn't very well, and that was a massive shock, because that was actually losing someone. So that was my mum's brother. That was really hard. I actually feel like that was 10 times harder than either of the divorces. Losing losing someone that you just adore and love. And then my nana passed away in 2013 in the January, and my first marriage failed in the March. Well, actually, it was well and truly failed well before then, but that was when we called it quits. Then overcoming the worry about what other people think about you.
Mm-hmm.
I was consumed with what people would think, why they didn't understand the relationship I had gone through, how they couldn't see the emotional and psychological abuse that I was living through, how on earth that fucking happened to me. How did I let it happen to me? How did everybody around me let that happen to me? That was nuts. That still is nuts. But I got through that. A couple of things. One is if you've ever seen The Lion King, there is a scene where the monkey, can't think of his name, hits Simba with a stick. And Simba goes, "What was that for?" And he goes, "Doesn't matter, it was in the past." And I kind of think I'm a little bit like, okay, none of that actually matters. It's in the past. It's not me shoving it away. It's just going, I can either choose to dwell on all of that, or I can go, what can I spend my time on? Creating, spending my time with the people I love, doing stuff I love, trying new things. That to me has given me so much more momentum than what I did for those 6 months of trying to like work out what the hell had happened. So yeah, a few things there, but definitely losing someone I think is I'd say is one of the hardest
things.
Yeah.
I lost my darling dad in August 2022, and I was just coming out of a cancer journey, and I'd been trapped in Melbourne with the border closed, and divinity of timing was fucking unbelievable, because Mum and Dad were able to pop over when the border bubble opened up while I was going through chemo, and then I couldn't get back into New Zealand because the border then closed suddenly, and then literally Dad turned 80 2 days after I got back from Melbs, and then he was diagnosed as being terminally ill. And I really thought that I was going to have this real struggle with saying goodbye to my dad. And I miss him every day. But he had the most beautiful exit from this life to the next that we could ever really wish for. And to be able to care for him, I found really therapeutic for me personally.
Through the grieving of it.
That by the time he actually transitioned, I'd done a lot of my grieving. And it was a really special time. And when I tell the story, some people look at me as if I'm batshit crazy.
No, I think that's beautiful because you had that time with him.
And so,
And on your own healing journey, that must be freaking hard.
Well, incredibly, my dad died of prostate cancer, which is a real common, I guess, disease for an elderly man. And me having had breast cancer, I was on the same medication. I was on 2 drugs, but one of them was actually a Zoladex injection in my stomach. And my father had to take the same one. And it was like breast cancer and prostate, and the drug was actually kind of like the same. Yeah.
So you were going through exactly what he was going through, so you probably had a lot more empathy and care for him, and you could care for him.
Yeah, and so and there with Dad, when hospice, bouncing around here, but when hospice came in, and someone gets assigned the role of the medications and administering them, and it was something that I really wanted to do because I knew how I had a portacath put in, and I knew how some of the veins and some of the nurses were so brutal on me. I just felt like I could actually inject things in a
gently.
Totally. So I said I want to do that. For
that's
Dad.
Really wonderful.
That could be my little role in this journey, I guess.
So can I ask you that question? What's the hardest thing that you've had to face or overcome?
The hardest thing I've had to overcome probably is other people's opinions,
Yeah.
where I just chuck them in the whakabaka now and I walk right along.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? You chuck it?
Chuck it in the whakabaka and move right along. I just, Judge Judy. I'm just not interested in Judge Judy.
Yeah.
And my life is probably as colourful as it can get.
Yeah.
And so the hardest thing I've had to overcome, and I've overcome cancer.
Yeah.
I've overcome liquidating, bankruptcy, which were all absolute shivers.
Yeah.
We're talking 3 failed marriages. I mean, we're not doing things by halves. Bond,
you're not.
Bond doesn't do things by halves. The hardest
Overachiever.
the hardest thing is absolutely other people's opinions, and being able to take myself to a place, to own mistakes that I have made, and to forgive from afar others' mistakes. Yes. And that doesn't mean I turn up and say I'm okay with what you did. It's just that stuff happened. I can't change it. I've got to release it.
Yeah.
So without a doubt, the hardest thing is other people's opinions. Yeah.
Isn't it funny how we let other people's opinions, and half the time it might even be not their actual opinion, it's just what your perceived opinion that you've created, that they've thought they've said, or whatever it might be, let it damage our lives so much.
It's unbelievable, because in my 20s I was a kick-ass businesswoman. Yeah. I went after creating a company in my mid-20s, and my business was actually formed around my dining table with a bunch of men, where I bloody cooked them lunch back in the day.
Yeah.
And so I was very determined to be success at that point in time was actually quite financially based, and things shift as you age and you go through some trauma, if you like. And then I can't actually recall in my 20s or 30s worrying about people's opinions, because I was too busy creating a life for myself. But it was when the first failed marriage happened, that was the beginning of taking on board other people's opinions. Oh, what are people going to think? And some of that is probably, maybe in my home, my family, I should say, is generational. And so I've actually kind of broken a curse. I don't want my daughter ever worrying about what other people think.
Never.
So I have this thing that I've had with all my children, that your opinion is as important as mine is. Yeah. And, whilst we've got house rules, any rules up for negotiation. And the wonderful thing about you being you is that your opinion is yours.
Yeah.
And so, other people's opinions they're just theirs, and
they can keep them over there.
And so long as you can go to bed at night and lay your head down and go, I've been a really good person today, and I've left an imprint somewhere, and I don't know where it is on your LinkedIn, but there's something about lasting impression. And when I was in my 30s in business, I used to say to my staff, I don't need a fucking business card. I always leave a lasting impression. Yeah. And
you do.
That's that's kind of what you want to do in a positive way.
Yeah, it can be as little as a smile to someone, or letting them in front of, in the car in front of you, or the tiniest little things can change the course of someone else's day. Cost you nothing. Actually, less energy to smile than it is to be grumpy bitch. Yeah. So just smile, and you leave those lasting impressions, and you 100% do, and your energy does. You've got beautiful energy.
Well, your energy, I really believe this, that your energy introduces you before you even open your mouth and speak.
Yeah.
And
I'm with you.
Yeah.
And you can quickly see the people that you don't want to kind of go near either.
You can. You can, because you can feel it.
Yeah.
And we don't all have friendships that are equal in terms of clapping for each other. I know that. I love to clap. And, with the green-eyed monsters, I try now to avoid that, because that just kind of permeates my life, and I just don't need that in my life anymore.
I think the when you're around people that are achieving, be it in sports or business or family life or whatever that success looks like to them, right? Because your success is going to look completely different to mine, to you listening. So it's finding out what that success looks like for you and being proud of it, but not being jealous. Or if some little yucky jealous gremlin pops up, why are you jealous?
Yes.
Is it because you wish you were doing that? So maybe go and fucking do it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is a really powerful shift. And when you can see people doing their thing, because they've put the effort in, because they're putting the energy in, because they're showing up, it's really special, and it should be celebrated. There is just, there is so much opportunity out there right now. Like, the world is global. There is, someone needs you, or whatever your service or your whatever you want to do with your life. You'll find those people to come and connect with you. Or if you just want to go hang out in a treehouse, like, in the middle of the bush, go do that too.
Do you know, back in 2023, I found this woman on the gram. It's amazing how the gram is like my safe place, and I've met some phenomenal humans. And back in 23, I met this amazing woman in LA, and so on a wing and a prayer, I thought, fuck it, I am going to go and meet you. And she has done a TEDx talk that has had like 3.5 million views, and written a few books. And so I messaged her and said, I'm booking the ticket, and I am coming over, and I'm going to do one of your speaking programs and attend a summit. And know, and so sometimes I think that you can wait for opportunities. If you're waiting for opportunities, fuck all's going to fall into your lap.
What dance floor are you on?
Yeah, exactly. You got to go after those opportunities and that big wild dream, as if your life depended on it, because it truly does.
It seriously does. So, what did you do in LA?
So I rocked up and went to a phenomenal. It was a public speaking day, groomed by her, if you like. And so she's coming on the potty too.
Oh, great.
And so she literally had a breakdown around about 2013-14. Too much alcohol, life was falling apart, very successful, but then things just fell apart. And so she's a personal coach. She coaches CEOs primarily, and she's a public motivational speaker. Went there for a day, met some phenomenal women, and a guy that we're all in contact with now. Yeah. We're all over the world. I'm the only person from Australasia that was there. They were all Americans, which was really cool.
Super cool.
And
so now you have a global community.
So and so you're right. Yeah. And so you can have a big wild dream in Auckland, and it can extend to Australia, Canada, wherever,
anywhere.
Yeah.
But you have to get on that dance floor.
And you do. And so, look, starting this, I had a calling for doing a podcast about a year ago. I attended a motivational speaking event at a hotel in Auckland. Yep. And I walked in and I thought, this is solid gold shit, man. And
Did you stay?
No. So the guy turned up, an Australian guy turned up, and you had to apply for the ticket and pay for the ticket, and it was this big noise about only so many people could get in, and he was like a grey suit dinosaur from the fucking 80s.
Oh no.
And he had like a TV crew, and so I just knew that the vibe was just not me.
Yeah.
And so I actually said to some of the people with the cameras, please do not film me. And then I go and grab a beer from the bar, and I think I'm just going to call an Uber. And as I'm sat with the beer, and this woman bounces in and asks if she can sit down, and we get chatting, and she goes, what do you do, Ali? And I'm telling her about this and that, and I said, but what I really want to do is I really want to start a podcast.
And here you are.
And she goes, oh, before this, she goes, you need to meet my good friend, Hemant. He's a DJ, radio DJ, and he does podcasting. And so while I'm sat there with her, she rings him and she's like with this woman Ellie, and she's wanting to start a podcast. So initially we actually started recording some in my own living room.
Yep.
And then everyone thought I was batshit crazy. And
But
then
did you listen to their opinion?
no, I don't.
Oh,
no, I don't,
good.
because you've got to follow. You've got to follow your dream.
Yeah.
And so I've been here at Pod Lab for a couple of months, and the first time I was shitting bricks, my nerves were off the chart, and I'm committed to this. It's not going to fail, because I'm not going to let it fail. And you
Well,
got to
and
start.
we're all going to rally around you. And if anyone's listening even shares this with 5 people, it takes you all of 2 seconds to do that. How many people can we grow that by? Like, huge. So we're all here to support you.
Absolutely, and it's a show for women, and it's conversations to be had openly, with no fucking judgment. Yeah,
But it just shouldn't be, because we're all there's no time for judgment. Like, there literally is no time for judgment or bullshitness. And everyone's going through their own crazy ass journey. Sometimes I think also it's seasons. So this is what I think is a really interesting space, is thinking of your life in seasons, and even friendships in seasons, relationships in seasons. Sometimes it's a really freaking hard season, and sometimes it's much easier. But if you think of it like that, you can appreciate each season for what it was, rather than feeling the fucking drag. Yeah, that's
totally.
I think. And shit happens to everybody, and sometimes it's just the level of shit that varies, isn't it?
It is, and also too what people share.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people go through a lot of shit and they don't share it. And that word shame lands again. Of why they don't share it.
So I had a lady when I was at a speaking event, and I talk about ex-husband 1 and 2, and it's a bit of a piss take on myself, but it does explain which one I'm speaking to. She had 2 children to 2 guys, and she was like, I've always tried to hide it. I didn't want to have the shame of having 2 children to 2 different dads.
I've lived through
Why?
that. Yeah.
Why? It is your life. There's no shame on you. There's no shame for your children. There's just no shame. That's just what it is. So don't worry about it.
And when you release that shame, you're lighter, and everything shifts so freaking quickly. I've actually made some questions for you, my dear.
Stop it.
I have. I'm not normally this organised, actually. And so, best piece of advice that you have ever received in your 42 years of life?
The quote, opportunity dances with those already on the dance floor. If I had have known that when I was younger, or embraced that, I would have done so much more. I wouldn't have been embarrassed or worried, or maybe it comes with 42 years of age, but I'm on the freaking dance floor. I deserve to be on the dance floor, and I'm gonna fucking dance. So I hope that everyone can take that quote and go and get dancing, whatever that means for them.
I absolutely love that. Okay, so dance floor, sneakers or heels?
Heels.
Yeah, same. I think I said to you. I think I said to you, I'll start in heels and move to,
and then I'd move to
the sneakers.
I'm exactly the same. I also love an Ugg boot. So if we're going anywhere, I'll take my Uggs. So at 1 a.m, if I need to put my Ugg boot on after this heel and the sneaker,
You got your
happy
Uggs
to do Uggs.
I love it. That's very versatile.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with 3 people in the world, who would you choose?
Shit, 3.
3. So there's 4 of you at the table. 3 guests.
That's a real hard one, because I automatically go to my family. I just want to have dinner with my family.
I
want
love
to have family
that.
dinners.
I love
they
that.
mean everything to me. So there is not anyone else I'd rather spend time with than my family.
Okay.
And my best friends.
Then
They can come too.
we can't answer that question then, because there's
Okay.
only four of you there. Then some of your beautiful family would be actually missing. Look,
I'm not one to keep to the rules, so I've got like way more than 4 people at my table.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So same. Ditto. What is a book or a movie that has significantly changed your life?
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Okay.
I think I was watching this I was watching this on repeat. when I was still married to my second ex-husband, and I just started to drill down into Prince doing his things, not Prince, I've just mucked that up. Who's Bohemian? You know who I mean.
I know you mean.
Oh, Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Even changing his name, doing everything his own way, and knowing so true in himself as his record labels and all of these other people were saying, no, it has to be this way. He just knew his music. He stood his ground. I'm sure going through the adversity and the diversity and everything that he went through and the fucking incredible music that he makes. His journey was by no means easy. So I just loved that movie. And when I say repeat, like, I don't know how many times I've watched it. Multiple.
Brilliant. Do you think 10?
More. Like shitloads more.
How do you define at 42? How do you define success?
Success to me is, I'd say, in happiness, and I think it's my ability to bounce back to happiness. So shit happens and you don't have to be high energy all the time. But I can take a really crappy situation and turn it around. So I live in quite a calm kind of place now. It's really beautiful. So success to me is calm. It's feeling like I have a freaking purpose. I have so much love to give, and I give it, and I get so much love back. And the joy of seeing my children grow, my partner and my relationship grow, my massive family grow, and all of our babies and all the kids, that is success. And having this most wonderful relationship with my family, my dad, my stepdad, my mum's mate, like, you know, everybody is just, that is success to me. The worst thing that can happen to me is nothing, because I have love. But I have love for myself, which is probably the biggest thing.
Which just exudes. And, you know, that let's tap into that word selfish. That was, and I framed it back on you and I said
self-full.
I call it self-full. Yeah, I call it absolute
and
self-full.
So I'm stealing that.
Yeah.
That is now ours.
I think that as women we're so conditioned that, you know, putting ourselves first at times is that word selfish, and I chuck that in the fuck it bucket too.
Yeah.
And I say
love this fuck it bucket.
It's actually it's absolutely self-full.
It is.
Yeah.
So last year I worked out that I had to be really selfish, which is now self-full, to be able to build my business, because if I didn't do that, well, it was building my job at that stage, because I hadn't had the slap in the freaking face about building a business. So I made sure that everything that I was doing was helping me do that, which means that I can have financial security, which means I can work towards financial freedom. So financial security for me was even being able to pay the bills, to be able to fill up the car to fill, which was pretty shitty after having been there. I was financially secure. We were financially secure, and then splitting it up. So going back to those, that was really actually freaking humbling when you're standing at the supermarket going, fuck, is this going to accept, or should I take that back? And that was at like 40.
Been there, done that, and that's a horror. I remember being in Melbourne after being bankrupt, and there being no money in the fucking kitty, and actually, you know, having to like literally tally up what things were actually costing before I got to the checkout.
Toasted sandwiches are great.
Yeah,
by the way, speedy on toast.
Yeah.
So that I had to just make being selfish to be able to build this business, and it means that I miss out on girls' lunches. It means that, well, actually I don't miss out because I'm choosing, so I don't have FOMO, because I'm like, cool, you guys are in that season, I'm in this other season over here
called JOMO.
Yeah, like, right, you know, like I'm just doing me, and I'm unapologetically doing me, and I don't feel bad about doing my stuff for me. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I have embraced selfish. I have also really taken on doing things and learning things. So I'm learning golf at the moment. I probably will be learning golf for decades and decades because it seems that my hand-eye coordination is shit. But I love it. I go on a Monday night. There's 6 in our little class, and
Cool.
I was going to say hit balls. Most of the time the others hit balls. I hit air. But we're having a blast. And I'm also not afraid to turn up and do things without anybody I know and give it a go. And I think that comes from, this is a real realization that this is my life. And I just want to go and try all these things, where I kind of sat dormant for like probably 15 years of just sorting out other people's shit and doing everything for everybody else and not going, actually, do you know what? I'm going to go and do something for me. So I really am doing stuff for me that is, when I say bankable, these little assets of like epic stuff that just make me happy.
I absolutely love that we're bankable, and you can tell by your energy that you're in such a great space. And FOMO is something that I suffered from a lot, missing that fear of missing out. And then when I heard about the joy of missing out when you do other things, it's a game changer too.
It is such a game changer, and when you see it like that, it's not that you only have one option. It's like, actually, this is my choice that I'm making right at the moment, and it is for the joy of what I'm missing out. I'm missing out because I am doing this other cool shit for me. Or I'm going to go and see it. Caro Rainsfield, who is the country director of Google New Zealand, she had a beautiful example that she shared with us during a sip and share. She got the opportunity to speak in front of 1,000 women at this really prestigious event. It was the same day that her dad had a doctor's appointment and that her daughter was getting a certificate at school. She has a little quote on her laptop saying, do what matters most. So she rang the organisers, explained that she was unable to attend. She would put someone else in her place. But for her, she did what mattered most, which was to be with her dad during the doctor's appointment and to see her daughter get this end of year certificate.
Which was just phenomenal, and
Isn't that
amazing.
beautiful?
That was like tingles.
It was tingles. So we can have the JOMO, the joy of missing out, because you're really not missing out. It's just what you make choices around.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think you have to choose what works for you during your season.
So what's coming up for you in the next 6 months that you can share with my listeners and watchers?
Okay, well, I have actually only a few people know this because I've been working away in the back. I've been working away. I feel like one of those little ducks where my feet are like going 1,000 miles an hour and it looks like I'm like kind of coasting, but I'm not. I'm freaking running fast, paddling fast. At a sip and share last year, I shared my big goal of making a media company. It is going to be called Bankable Media.
Brilliant.
Because you deposit great assets. Your mind is your greatest asset, and we're going to help you deposit great things into your mind.
I love this.
And that will be media and publishing, so I can help many more women and people share their stories.
Brilliant.
And have a space that they can all come together. So that is rolling out this year, which I'm pretty damn proud of, and now I've actually put it out to the universe.
You should. That is, I'm so proud of you. That's fabulous.
Yeah, so bankable.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about writing a book?
Yes, I have 2 book titles that I'm playing around with. One is bold, branded, and bankable. So how to really ensure that you are building your personal brand. It's a bit more than personal brand, but using your unique selling propositions, or what are the bankable assets that you're growing, whether it's relationships, networks, skill sets. It's not just coin, it's bigger picture stuff. And then the other one was going to be mind your own monkey, stop worrying about other people's bullshit and sort of own life, but I thought I'd better tone that down. So the working title for that one is Be the Damn Change.
Love that. Yeah.
Because I have got so many examples of people that, and it was myself, you kind of, not moan, but you drag yourself through, and you could actually be the change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Be the change. Love that.
Be the damn change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's what's happening. Now, I'm going to flip that one back on you. Tell me about what's happening in the next 6 months for you.
For me, is doing more of podcasting. It's
Yes.
a real dream of mine. I'm starting to really enjoy it. I have been in conversations with a chap in the UK for about 18 months about writing my own autobiography.
Yes.
And so that's starting.
Cool.
The challenge is, as you would probably understand, being a mum, is I've had parts of my life that have been really, really traumatic, and so
you don't
I
wanna
am.
share.
My book title is Authentically Ellie, and so it has to be authentic, but it's how much you put in there, and so I don't believe that you go through a life like mine without being able to leave an imprint on another's soul in a powerful way, that no matter what you get up, you show up, you keep fucking going.
Yeah.
It's not the end. It's the start of a new beginning.
Yeah.
Is how I like to frame it. And just really getting more active, attending more events with like-minded women that are all clapping for each other, and I guess being more present for my children too really is something that I want to focus on.
Someone wrote a LinkedIn post, which, first of all, fuck yes, go and do all of that shit, and any help that you need, I'm here to cheerlead you on along the way or support you, because I know you can do all of those things.
I'll be knocking on your door. Yeah.
Easy. I do think, the LinkedIn post, a lady wrote a LinkedIn post that I read, and it said that for so many years her mum would say, no, I can't go swimming because I can't get my hair wet. And so her message to everyone was, get your fucking hair wet. Like, your kids are only little for such a long time. Why don't you want to get your hair wet and enjoy that experience for yourself, but then for also your kids? So I get that. It's being present there. And then circling back to what you said about how much of your story do you share. It's a real hard one. The stuff that happened with my first ex-husband and I, we're in a really good place now, but by all means, it was one of the shittest places I've ever been in my life. You think it's bad living with the person? Try being divorced to the person or separated. That's a clusterfuck. That's got nothing to do with the children. So how do you not share so that other people can't go through it, but how do you protect them, because that's not their relationship with their mother or their father? I haven't quite landed on that one yet. I haven't shared.
I haven't either. And it's actually a biggie for me, because I lived with someone that was not an Ellie diagnosed, but a formally diagnosed narcissist with borderline personality disorder. That's a diagnosis that was given by a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
And but there's children. There's a child involved.
Yeah.
So it's how much you share. And I've got an author coming on the show soon, and she wrote a book about her lying, cheating husband that she nursed to his death of cancer. The book just went boom.
Is she an angel?
The book just went like that, and so we've had lots of conversations about this, because there's also the there's defamation, there's all of those things. But if something's true, and it's true, it can't be defamation if it's actually true.
I know, and I think that's not even the part of the sharing part. Like, that will just be a pain in the ass, right? If that happens. But how do you protect?
Working through that at the moment, because the most important thing in my life, without a doubt, is my children and their well-being.
Yeah.
That being said, I still feel this real calling. Let the songbird sing. And but it needs to be done in a manner that is respectful to myself, my children,
Yes.
but also be authentic.
Well, you can't have the book title Authentically Ellie. It'd be like just...
and miss out 2 chapters.
Yeah.
You know,
just these are a sealed section. It would be like Cleo back in the day.
you remember those? Yeah, I actually do remember those.
Bonus material. Holy hell.
R18, subscribe here.
Yeah, that was funny. Gosh, back in the day, look how much media's changed. How cool is it that you can create this podcast and you can give the opportunity to share so many people's stories? Like, congratulations.
Well, everybody has a story to tell.
Yeah.
Everybody has a story to tell, and when you stop talking, you start listening. It's unbelievable. Like the things that people share with me, I feel so privileged actually at times. Yeah,
It is. It's really special. I think because you give them a safe space to feel safe to share. So thank you so much for giving that to us. Like, it's an absolute treat. Yeah.
You have been an absolutely fabulous guest, and so where can our viewers find you? On LinkedIn under Tickled Pink?
It's under Tickled Pink. That's my business, or Rochelle Moffitt, Rochelle, and then Moffitt is Moffitt. That's actually my maiden name. I've gone back to that after 2 other married names. So that was a clusterfuck in itself. Like, how many names have I got? Many.
Yeah.
So we're back to Moffitt. Or Instagram, Rochelle was here. Or just give me a message. Yeah, and sign up to our newsletter if you're keen to know about our events. We will be taking them global as well.
Brilliant. And to all my listeners and followers, thank you so much. Subscribe, hit the share button, and love your life and own your journey.